Hi, welcome to part 2 of the Marvel movies video. Sorry, I wasn't planning on doing this as a part 2, I was planning on doing it all at once. But it's been warm in this room and I've been talking there for a half hour and my throat was so dry. I need to go and get a little drink to clear up my throat a little bit. Right, so moving on to the last movie in this for this set is Doctor Strange. Now, I thought this film was okay. It's not one of the better ones. Give it a little look inside there. Same again, they're all the same, they're all basic white on the inside. They're basic disc, there's nothing special about the packaging or anything of these movies. But give a look at the back there as well. So this it was okay. It starts off with Doctor Strange as being just a regular doctor, and he's a bit of a douchebag in the start of the film. To be perfectly honest, he is a bit of a douchebag, and then through course of events and being in a car crash, he breaks his hand, and he starts to look, and his hand completely shattered. And although he's still got the use of it, it's shaky all the time, and it's not the same. It's very, very weak, and which has affected him personally and professionally as a doctor. And it kind of leads through there. He struggled with that. He eventually ends up in a monastery. This is where he starts to learn of sorcery, and he meets the Sorcerer Supreme at the time. And they take him in, and really the film in it's all about his personal journey of learning how to do certain things. So they don't really give him any direction on this is how you do this is how you do that. He just kind of works, cleans the monastery, and he's building a wall, and it's to allow him to kind of develop. He has to learn to start perceiving things differently. So if you're not familiar with the character, I don't want to give anything away. But he needs to start learning how to perceive things differently, the way he sees it. And this kind of perceptive idea of how he sees things and what he accepts to be reality and what's possible and what's impossible is what allows him to do the things that he'll eventually do and fix his hand and give him his powers as a sorcerer. So that is basically how all the story builds up. It does get into a kind of final battle. The last 15 minutes or so of the film, building up to a final battle with the main villain. I'm not completely familiar with Doctor Strange. It was never a comic that I read as a kid, so I can't remember who the villain is. For those of you who are big fans of the character and who are familiar with the character, will know who it is. The kind of dark evil being. Who ends up with the medallion that the Sorcerer Supreme gets, and it all builds up from there. So I'll do a wee short review on that one because as I said, I don't want to give too much away with these movies, and I'm not completely familiar with the character, so I can't really go into too much about the folklore and things because I'm not too familiar with it. But overall, it was a decent enough film. It was a good film, good story, and if you're a fan of the character, most certainly you will love this movie. Special features wise, it doesn't give you too much in. It gives you a Who is Doctor Strange featurette, which goes into a bit more about the character itself, some concept art, and a best of Marvel video game cinematics, which is you can watch some of the cinematic stuff that they did for the cutscenes and that for the video games that they've made in the past. And a wee drink. So that is the last of the ones in the set. I'll just put these away. So you won't get the Heroes of Tomorrow in this set. This is a 4-disc set. There is an 8-disc set which looks similar, which does have, I think it is only about £20 anyway, about £18–20 on Amazon, and you can pick up the 8-disc set. Just because I was buying them from Game, they didn't have it, and I was able to get this. I got this with the movies separately instead, and it worked out a little cheaper than buying the 8-disc one anyway. I got it for about £16 all in, as opposed to £20. So I saved a few quid on it, but you will get an 8-disc set with all the movies if you don't want to buy them all individually, for about that price. So I've already reviewed Hulk versus movie in a past video, so if you want to check that out, just search my videos and you'll find the Hulk versus, and you can get one on that. So we'll move on to, actually we'll do first, we'll do the next Hulk one. Keep this moving along nicely. That is Planet Hulk. Same again, just a very basic box, only this box is black. I do believe if you buy the set with them all together, the box will probably be clear to make all the boxes the same. But I got this individually and the box happened to be black. So obviously this is based off the Planet Hulk storyline. There is a few changes in the movie. Which I'll divulge into in a minute. From the original comics, but the storyline's much the same. Starts off with the Hulk being sent to out in space, and he's meant to be going to a planet that's uninhabited, but ends up getting hit by a meteor or an explosion, or something happens to send the rocket that he was in off course, and he ends up in this kind of planet which is a bit like, I would describe as a Roman Empire. It's got this, it's got the Emperor, a Caesar type character, and it's got the kind of gladiatorial arena, which is where Hulk first ends up when he arrives. Now, one of the big differences with this story to a lot of the other Hulk ones, like the Hulk versus, the Hulk in this movie talks. Now, he doesn't talk initially, but what they do is they hit them. I don't know if you can quite make it out if I zoom in enough. Or is there a picture on the inside of the box? It's better. No, I don't know if you can make it out if I zoom in enough. But if you look at the back of the box, there's little circles on the chest of the characters at the back. All of the royals, all the subjects of the Emperor, get these little tags put on them, and it kind of has like a translator in it type deal, I believe, which allows the Hulk to talk to other characters, and he walks around and he talks, but it seems to kind of make him more of a sentient as well, in the sense of he's aware more of what's going around him as well. So unlike previous Hulks, which is Hulk Smash, this is a walking, talking character, and you can get more into more in depth of how he thinks with the character because of this, and obviously how he interacts with the other characters is much different. Whereas the Hulk only in the other ones only appears here and there, with Bruce Banner being the main character, with the Hulk coming out at certain moments. But he is the Hulk throughout all of this film. He's never Bruce Banner, he's always the Hulk. So going into the story, more in about the story, he ends up on this planet, fights in the gladiatorial arena, and it ends up leading to a battle between him and the Emperor. That is where the story's going. I'll not go into too much about what goes on and things, so I don't give anything away, but that is basically how the story's going. With him building up to taking on this Emperor and to fight him mano a mano, with the Emperor doing everything in his power to stay away from him, and try and kill him without having to go one-on-one with him. So the movie itself is a very, very good movie. It's one of the best ones that they've done. Very, very fresh look on the film. And so there's a few differences. The major difference is Hulk at one point in the comic books will take on Thor. They decided not to use Thor in this, and they used what's his name again? Oh, yeah, nuisance. 2 seconds, I'll check up on my phone. Because it's really annoying. There is another character, and he's got a really unusual name. He's an alien. Who can also lift the Thor hammer. He's got a really unusual name. Check this out. Here we go. That's there. Beta Ray Bill. It was annoying me. I knew it was Bill. It was Bill something that was in there. It was Beta Ray Bill. So if you're familiar with that character, he's an alien from another planet who was worthy of lifting the hammer of Thor, and eventually Odin gave him his own hammer, which is a gold hammer. So if you've ever seen the character who dresses like Thor with a helmet and things, only he's orange in colour, either orange or red, depending on what comic book you've read. Big long face, kind of like a snout, and the gold hammer. So they replaced Thor with this character in this film, and that's one of the major kind of differences. There isn't much else major, but that's a kind of major change to the storyline in this. It does go into the special features, which are audio commentary, a whole world of Hulk, the making of the Planet Hulk featurette, and first look at Thor Tales of Asgard, which I will discuss in a minute. So you'll find more on about why they did that in the special features, but definitely a film worth checking out, and gives a whole new take on the Hulk character. So moving on, this is the last film. Let's get another wee drink. This is the last film, and this was Thor Tales of Asgard. Now this film, sorry again, just the disc. That's just a leaflet advertising the other Marvel movies. Now in this film, it decided to do a storyline where Thor hasn't got his hammer yet, and he's a young teenager, and he's been sheltered. He's never left Asgard, and when he does practice fighting against some of the other warriors, they end up letting him win. So he's been very, very sheltered and spoiled in that sense. And this story kind of he makes a decision so his family, his father will respect him, to allow him to become a warrior like he wants to be, which at this moment his father isn't really allowing him to do. He goes after this sword, and with this sword, he doesn't realise how powerful this sword is, and it should just be left hidden. But he decides to go after it to prove a point to his father without his father's permission, and he goes on it. He takes Loki with him and some of the other Asgardian warriors who became known in the Thor comic books. So once he finds the sword, he ends up accidentally killing a frost giant, a couple of frost giants with it, who turn up. and it basically leads on from there. Frost Giants wanting to find him, and all chaos breaks loose. And basically because he was stupid and made a mistake, he nearly caused a war between the Frost Giants and the Asgardians. So effectively this is like a bit like the Heroes of Tomorrow Avengers film. This is definitely a coming of age story for Thor himself, and basically learning the things that he needs to learn to eventually become worthy of being able to get the hammer. That is a long and short of this film. I don't want to give too much away with just like the rest of the films. I've been here for a while. I don't really want to take up much more time in this video, but that is the basics of it. It's a coming of age story. Him learning what it takes to become a man and a warrior, and he'll make a few mistakes along the way that he'll have to learn from, and he'll have to try and fix himself. So that's it for me for today's videos. Give a thumbs up if you like any of these. If you like the video, feel free to leave any comments, positive or negative, in the comment section. And also feel free to subscribe. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. I only have 3 at the moment. I need to try and get that up to be a little higher. So at the moment, let's get the subscriptions up. I'm aiming for 10 to begin with, just as a starting point. So feel free to share the channel on Facebook and things like that, the link for the channel. And I'll see you next time on the channel. Thank you.